Hello guys and gals of the internet, I'm Suikios on YouTube, Twitch TV and Mixer.com, and we are here for another really spacious channel update. November 27th, 2017. I guess by the way I gap these updates out now, this is going to be most likely the last channel update of 2017. The last update we did was obviously back in August. I announced Sonic Marathon 2, it was about a week before Sonic Mania came out. I talked about Mixer channel with Discord, and the announcement of Sonic Marathon 2 and all that. And there's just been nothing to update you guys on the channel since. There's no real point doing a channel update if there's nothing to update you guys on. Plus the fact that I've uploaded a lot less frequently for various reasons in those last few months. There was 1 week, obviously, when myself and Lady Tamla were off to her mom's house while this house got repainted due to a leak in the kitchen and such, and a few kind of scrubs on walls. It's not finished yet. It's going to be finished after Christmas, but we should all be finished up by then. So there's that. I think reason number one is that videos have been really less frequent is because I don't think I've really enjoyed gaming this year, to be honest with you. I've only bought 2 games in the entire year on day of release, and that was Life is Strange Before the Storm and of course Sonic Mania. I actually think 2017. And Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I actually bought that on day of release as well because I pre-ordered it. Actually, I didn't have to. I got it free with the Uncharted thing, didn't I? So I got that for free anyway. But you know, I've only really purchased 2 games on day of release this year because I personally think 2017 has been one of the worst years for gaming. It's been terrible. The games haven't been good to start with. I think that's just the main thing. We've had all sorts of controversies with all sorts of games. Mass Effect Andromeda and its awful faces, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and its lack of content and just plain graphics. FIFA this year is absolutely horrible. I'll go into more about that in a second. And most recently, of course, Star Wars Battlefront 2 with the loot box controversy. Gaming this year has been probably the worst year in my 20 plus years of gaming. It has been that bad. I mean, that is one of the reasons why the uploads have been so sporadic this year. I've had no motivation to upload really anything because number one, the games have not been that good, and number two, streaming really. I guess streaming is probably a bigger reason. I've been streaming a lot more recently. I've been joining streams with my friend, my good friend Ranger Sliven. I recently bought Guilty Gear, so we're probably playing the hell out of that game. But yeah, it's just this year has been one of the worst for gaming, and it doesn't give me any motivation to upload videos at all, any new ones anyway. I mean, FIFA this year has been absolutely, as a gameplay standpoint, FIFA is horrendous. FIFA is horrendous to play. The passing is off, and it's just got. Sometimes I've had to break character and just rage because FIFA pisses me off. Now, I'll go more into FIFA in a second because something's actually going to change on that one. And it's nothing to do with difficulty or anything like that. It's something else. But I think that leads into another reason why videos have been sporadic and why I've really not been motivated to upload any videos. And it all comes down, unfortunately, to my capture card. This is the HD60 Pro. It was the newest capture card from Elgato until they released the 4K 60 Pro about a week ago. This was the newest one. Now, I've had this capture card for maybe about almost coming up a year, I think, actually, unbelievably, and I've already had to drop it. Towards the end of last year, and predominantly in the beginning of this one, and in particular the summer, I've been rounding up a few problems with this capture card. Now, in the beginning, I didn't really know if it was the capture card or something else. The first real problems I noticed was towards the end of my FIFA 17 playthrough and trying to get out my F1 2016 career mode playthrough as well. This is one of the reasons why I discontinued it, actually, or going to. Sometimes, when you recorded the video with the HD60 Pro, it wasn't in the beginning, it was towards the end of the year, but I started to notice, towards the end of the year, that when you record a video and you process it, goes on your computer, and say in FIFA 17 rather, and F1 2016, I need to pull out the videos and put them in a videoing software because I want to shorten my FIFA video down or shorten my F1 video down to make it not really as long as possible, because who wants to sit and watch an hour of qualifying? You know what I mean? I want to edit it down for convenience, really, and or convenient purposes, I guess is the right word, I'm not sure. But anyway, excuse me, so yeah, say I wanted to pull out one of those videos and put it in my videoing software. Now, I started to notice this issue that the audio peaks in this was in Formula One's case, in particular, the game audio peaks would stop and it would freeze the videoing software and it had to restart it again. And it was so frustrating. Now, I eventually found out a bit of a workaround where I just cancelled the peak building in the videoing software. It could be me just using Movie Studio rather than Sony Vegas, but you know, Movie Studio does almost exactly what Sony Vegas does, so I don't really need it. I don't really need a proper videoing software because I don't really edit a lot anyway. It's only FIFA and F1 in the kind of preference to showing the videos and adding live commentary and such over those at the time, with the Schumacher years, for example. And I started to notice that this was happening so much more frequently with videos I was trying to edit, and even some playthrough videos would do it as well. And for the longest time, I couldn't really figure out really why that was. But another thing I was actually noticing during this was a couple of things. Either the game audio would kind of glitch up, it would like a sound, it would make a really weird sound like it was glitched. And sometimes it would happen with my commentary as well. And when I downloaded 3.6, I think it was like towards the beginning of the summer, it was actually before Sonic Mania came out, I think it was around that time, I actually started to know that the commentary audio had gotten worse. The desync, the you know, what's the word? You know, it's like, it was so bad. It was crackly, it was desynced, it was, I can't remember the word, it escapes me right now, but it was desynced, and it was also just distorted, that's the word. It was distorted, it was desynced, it was crackly, it was absolutely horrendous in Game Capture 3.6. And Game Capture 3.6 wasn't really important to me, but one thing that kind of worries me about updates maybe is because, like at one point, your version 3.5, say, was going to be made obsolete and you would be forced to upgrade anyway. So, you know, that's kind of the reason why I like to do that. I think that's why I had problems with capture cards early on, especially my 60, because I think I rarely updated the software. And even in, I think it was version 3.65 actually that came out, and one of the things you needed to do was actually upgrade or download that 3.65 software before having Windows 10, the Windows 10 Curators update. Now, unfortunately, I have that now. I actually have it. I didn't even know it existed. I had to kind of go somewhere to find it, and I've eventually got it now. Anytime it doesn't even work, which is quite funny for a laptop. But hopefully now with Game Capture 3.7, which I actually have on my computer now after Windows 10 was updated, so I think we're going to be okay. I'm probably going to test that out at some point with Atomos. But back to the point, actually. So yeah, the commentary was really distorted, really glitchy, really crackly, really bad, and I just stuck with 3.5 for the longest time. But it was such a demotivator to do videos. I didn't want to do videos because I knew it was a problem, and I knew at some time in the future I'd have to upgrade to the latest Elgato software because mine would be obsolete. Turns out that this has been a pretty common problem with the HD60 Pro, and one man that I took notice of was my favorite YouTuber, Vash12349. Now, Elgato sent him an HD60 Pro. They actually sent him one, and one of the things he reported was the crackly audio, the glitchiness audio, the distorting. It was really bad in 3.6, and I advised him, look, go to 3.5. It happens much less, and I think he actually said 3.5 it was worse for him. So that kind of says to me that maybe the HD60 Pros are not... They're internal PC capture cards, by the way. That's what these things are, if you don't know what they are. They're internal PC capture cards. But I think it has been a common problem with the Pro itself. And one of the things that confirmed this to me just recently was when I decided, you know what? Late time ordered an HD60S. So what I decided to do was mock record a few things and test the commentary audio. Almost absolutely no problems with it. So I was like, you know what? I've had to drop it. Now, one of the things, it could have been me, because as you can see, I've kind of, in where I've tried to plug it in sometimes, because my PC has been kind of up against the wall, but it gives me just enough space to put it in. But obviously I can't see where I'm putting my socket, so I'm having to guess. So that could be my fault, and that's why all the stuff's rubbing off, as you can see. That's pretty much my fault. But when others are reporting similar problems, it's a big issue. But the thing that gets me is Elgato has never released an update, a software update addressing this issue. They've never released an update addressing this issue. So if they haven't done it, and Elgato are really good with their updates, when you actually report a problem, they more or less, try to sort it out. But either I've got really unlucky and just had a defect, or not enough people have noticed this problem, or are not really bothered because they don't use game capture, they use OBS to stream. And like I said, that's another thing with YouTube. So many YouTubers now are just dropping YouTube and going to streaming. I mean, the main reason for that is YouTube's changes and all their policies and stuff. It doesn't really affect me that much because I'm not a partner channel, but partner channels are having a nightmare right now. Having to make sure their videos are advertiser friendly and all this bollocks. It doesn't affect me, like I said, but I'm having my own kind of reasons why I've been so demotivated to do these videos. I mean, like I said, FIFA's been horrendous, so I've just had no motivation to edit those videos and get them out anyway. But like I said, we'll go back to that in a second. Actually, we can lead into that. So the commentary problem has been a real thing since the end of 3.5 into Game Capture 3.6 and 7 and so on. Unfortunately, I didn't notice this at the time, how bad it really was, until I recorded 3 FIFA matches with it. And because I'd already recorded and put them up, and now I had no way to kind of go back because I saved it. So that was probably my fault. So the playthrough is going to be restarted a little bit later on, which I'll go into in a minute. So basically, yeah, I'm going to restart that. So basically what I did was mock record a few videos with the HD60S using Late Onwards HD60S. Absolutely no problems at all with the commentary and game audio. It was all absolutely fine. So that tells me that, I don't know. I mean, is the Pro a defect? Is it me? I don't know, but I've had no problems recording with the HD60S. So I've kind of dropped it. I've had to drop it because I've had so many problems. So as of right now, I'm capture cardless. So I haven't really got a capture card. I mean, I could use Late Time Modes, but at the same time, there's nothing really that I want to record right now either. I don't even want to record anything. I think the one thing I'll try and maybe record will be Resident Evil 7 when the Gold Edition comes out in about a week's time. But I won't start that until a little bit later. For this reason. Now, as you know, most recently I actually bought an Xbox One. I purchased it off the very website. And I'm going to pay it off in installments over the next year. So I'm basically kind of penniless, and I can't buy a new capture card from pretty much anybody. I can't buy Avon Media, I can't buy Elgato, they just cost too much. Eventually, when I've paid off probably about half my Xbox, I probably should have enough to pick an HD60S up. So I will do it then. Or maybe I'll pay everything I've done first and maybe get it. That'll take a year or so. Unless I can get it done quicker than that, of course. There will be a couple months where I'm free to actually pay off more than I probably would, like minimum payment or something. So obviously I'll do that in due course. So it'll really be dependent on how quick I pay the Xbox One the Xbox One X off on my Very account as to whether I get an HD60S. I will pick one up because I do find benefits with the instant game view and the streaming is much better on it as well. I've actually used it, but I'm in luck. But this won't be for another couple of weeks. Apparently, Samus Games, he came around yesterday to visit us, and he kind of does this thing where he visits at least once every month. He still has my HD60 and the Blue Snowball microphone I gave him. We kind of gave it him in the hope that he would do more videos for it, because he went through this time where he didn't upload after like a year or so. We kind of thought maybe giving him a capture card would be kind of a means to get him back into videos, but life has just taken over him, really. And that's what happens with a lot of streamers and YouTubers. Life just takes over you in the end. It really does. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I think with gaming being such a big thing to me, despite how bad this year has been, how average other years have been, I never lose my love for video gaming. I couldn't, because I just love playing video games. Like I said, I don't really base my opinions on games how bad they are. You know, I tend to stay away from certain games like Mass Effect. But the only reason I really stayed away from Mass Effect in the first place was more because I haven't really played the series yet. I'm planning to do that with Backwards Count now. I have an Xbox One S sometime in the future. Xbox One S? Xbox One X sometime in the future. I keep getting those two mixed up. There is an S, but keep getting those mixed up there. So, what we decided to do is, because Sam hasn't really used the stuff we gave him, I asked him, look, my Pro is messed up, it's messing up, and it's really kind of demotivating me to do videos. And I actually noticed that the capture card using the Eternals, the commentary was almost absolutely fine. It was such a difference between the two, even Sam noticed it. So I was like, you know what, if you still got my 60 and my Blue Snowball, he says yes, and he's going to be bringing it over the next time he visits. Now, he's planning to visit us before Christmas, so he'll be actually here a lot sooner than a month, because it'll be before Christmas. So I would assume, being what the date is, I would say he's probably going to be about 2 or 3 weeks away from visiting us next time, and I'm going to say, look, bring my capture card back, bring my Snowball back, and I'll get some use out of it. And I don't know whether I'll go with the Blue Snowball as a permanent thing, or maybe I'll stick with the Yeti. I don't know. I'll kind of do a comparison of the two, maybe in mock recordings again, and see which I think might be a bit better. Personally, I think I might end up sticking with the Yeti. Maybe Lady Tomlo could use the Snowball, maybe the Snowball would be better for her, we'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to run a few tests of that stuff. So basically, over the next 3 weeks, while we wait for him to come visit us, because, you know, he works, so he can't come round, he just can't come round on a day, on a whim, and do it, because he works, and he obviously goes to see his brother, who's moved to Bristol and everything. So, you know, life just comes first for him. He's saving up to move out of his parents' home and all that. So life is just really taking him over at the moment, so he can't really just come over for 2 seconds just to drop some stuff off. So I said, look, just bring it over when you next come to visit, and that will kind of give me the kind of means to, number one, which is the big thing, finish the Last of Us 1 playthrough. I've put that off for so long, but like I said, because streaming has been such a thing I've been doing over the last 2 months, and joining in games with my best friend Julio, and other means and stuff as well, I just don't find it in me to upload those videos. But now that I can't really record anything, because I'm capture cardless at the moment, because I don't want to put this back in, only to take it out, it gives me kind of a incentive to get The Last of Us Part 1 done, because obviously I think The Last of Us Part 2 is pretty much nearing its release. I would be very surprised if it comes out next year, though. I think that's going to be a 2019 game, personally. It could be a 2018 game, so maybe just in case it is, that'll kind of give me the motivation to finish that playthrough up, get the multiplayer up, even though I performed poorly in the multiplayer, and some other stuff as well. Now, like I said, I'm kind of capture cardless, so I'm not really going to upload, record anything. I don't really have it in me to record. I don't have a game I really want to record yet. The one exception, and I know this is going to come as no surprise, the one exception I will make is if Life is Strange comes out before I get my old equipment back. If Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 3, and maybe the Farewell episode as well, if they come out before I get my capture equipment back, that's when I'll borrow Lady Time Lords and get it recorded, because I want to see I want to fucking see how that game ends after the amazing ending that was episode 2. I want to see how that shit carries over into episode 3. That was nuts. You know, I have to make an exception with Life is Strange. It's still one of my favorite series of all time. I'm not even going to speak about it anymore. But, yeah, I'm definitely finishing that up. That'll be the only exception. Like I said, I've only bought 2 games on release day this year. Sonic Mania and Life is Strange. With Uncharted, I got it for free because of the Uncharted 4 edition that I bought last year. So that really just proves how bad gaming has been this year. I've only bought 2 games on day of release, mainly because I can't, because I don't have the funds. You know, I live independently, so I have to pay my bills. You know, my bills are important. I have to keep some stuff on my bills. That is the most important thing I focus on. And it has always been that way since I moved here. You know, I moved out of my parents' house, I moved here, and bills were at the forefront immediately. And I always make sure I've got enough to pay my bills and stuff. So they always come first. But it has just been made easier by just the lack of really good games this year. Sonic Forces, I just don't want to buy it. The other thing I'm actually going to buy this year is the Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition, like I said, that comes out next week. But unfortunately, with me being kind of capture cardless, I'll just wait till I get my old stuff back to do that. So, over the next 3 weeks, it'll be pretty much The Last of Us 1. I'm pretty much going to rip through that and see if I can get that fully uploaded and done finally before The Last of Us 2 comes out. And then we can actually make a start on some other stuff. Like I said, back to FIFA. I've restarted FIFA because, like I said, I'm going to restart FIFA when I get my old capture card stuff back. I'm going to restart that playthrough because I recorded a few matches with the buggy, the distorted and glitchiness in the commentary, thanks to, unfortunately, this capture card. It's a great card, but I think it just has so many problems, and I think it's kind of why Elgato have really pushed the 4K 60 Pro a lot quicker than you'd think. Elgato have really done that most of the time, actually, to be fair. You know, when I bought the Game Capture HD, I think it was like a few months later, the HD60 came out. Bought the HD60, and a few months later, about 6 months to a year later, this came out. I bought this, and then the HD60S came out. So, you know, every time I seem to buy a new capture card from Elgato, they seem to bring a new one out very quickly. So that's just luck of the draw. But the reason the old capture card I got is an HD60, the original one. The reason I haven't really, fought down for a new one is just like I just said earlier, I can't afford it. And with the 4K 60 Pro, I don't really have any means for it. There's a few reasons. Not all games are 4K yet. We are getting into that stage where most of them are. I don't think the 4K 60 Pro supports HDR, so you won't get that anyway. So that's one thing you're immediately missing. The 4K utility compatibility utility doesn't include mic audio, so I can't use it anyway. My monitor isn't a 4K monitor, it's a 1080p monitor. And generally, I just don't care for 4K. And the main reason for that as well, why I'm not really buying the 4K 60 Pro card, is because I don't really care for 4K. I don't really care for graphics. I never have cared for graphics that much. I will say when a game looks gorgeous, but it's not really a selling point for me. You know, it's not a selling point. It's the gameplay, it's the story, and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I've only got a 1080p monitor, so recording in 4K might be a problem. I don't know. Might be a problem on a non-4K monitor. I don't know how it works. The file sizes are going to be gigantic for 4K video, and I think the main reason why I'm not rushing to do this is because I don't get why people are really rushing to do this, to get 4K footage out, because YouTube did a survey, I think it was about a year ago. It's probably redundant now. But YouTube did a survey to see what was the highest percentage in what people watch their footage on YouTube. The highest majority percentage watch their YouTube footage on mobile devices. Yes, that is actually true, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe it's changed since then. But the highest majority of people watch their YouTube footage on mobile devices. I do it. You know, I have a tablet. I have a 720p tablet with 60 frames, and I view my stuff on there. The YouTube I like to watch from Vash. He's probably, and the girl from Mars. You know, I only watch like maybe 1 or 2 viewers, kind of consistently, but YouTubers consistently. I mean, but the highest majority of viewership on YouTube's viewership is through a mobile device. But there is almost no 4K mobile device. I believe the first one to jump to the 4K kind of resolution has been the iPhone X, which costs hundreds and hundreds of fucking pounds or dollars, and I have no care for one, so I'm not going to buy it. Certainly not at that fucking price. I'm actually going to go for a lower contract next month when I actually renew, because I barely use my phone. I barely use my phone, but I do need a phone just in case someone needs to get hold of me. But I don't use my phone for anything other than that, as a means to just have a phone. My phone just sits there. My phone sits somewhere and doesn't get used. So, you know, I'm just gonna lower the contract of the phone next month when I get to do that. But obviously, there's only maybe 1 or 2 mobile devices that support 4K footage, 4K resolution footage. So what's the point? You know, what's the point of getting a capture card that barely anyone's going to see? I think PC modders and places like that were like the second most viewed for footage. I think it was mobile devices first. Now, if mobile devices first, and mobile devices don't yet have 4K, not commonly anyway, what's the point of me getting a 4K capture card? What's the point? The file sizes are going to be gigantic for one, so that's gonna change my upload schedule, and I don't want to upload like 1 video a day, even though I probably should. Mind you, I'm mostly demotivated to do videos anyway. But yeah, well, I don't see the reason for why I should even bother with a 4K capture card when the highest amount of viewership is on mobile devices. I don't see the point. So I'm just going to stick with the HD60 until I can eventually get an S. I might even stick with it permanently. I might not even get an S. I might not need it. The only reason I don't particularly want S is because the S doesn't have the encoder that you need to do, say, master copy. If I wanted to stream and record at the same time, I can do that with the HD60 somehow. I'm not sure how, because I don't know how it's that powerful, but apparently it is. It has an encoder where you can stream and record at the same time. So if I want to do that, the HD60 is the only one I could do it without using this, because this is really glitching of audio and stuff, not for live commentary, the game as well. So no, there's no reason for me, especially when I'm such a small YouTuber anyway. I'm right at the bottom of the pile. Where is the kind of incentive to get a 4K capture card from me? I don't have one. I don't have an incentive. And if I'm having problems with this, if I'm having problems with the HD60 Pro, if I get a 4K Pro, I'm going to probably have the same issues. So that's just even more of an issue, like a reason not to get one. For me anyway. I don't know how the 4K Pro does. I'm going to have to look around. For other reports say it's great, footage-wise, but no one really seems to mention in the commentary, so I don't know whether I just got unlucky and got one that just didn't really fit, or maybe my PC's dying. I don't know. I mean, my PC's still fast. It still plays games on it, so I don't think it's that dead. And I did have a motherboard change, yes, but I was having these problems way before my motherboard changed, I think. At least I think I was. Yeah, because I had this before I bought my new graphics card. And the reason I had my motherboard changed was because I put in my graphics card wrong. I messed up. I messed up and broke it. So I had to get a new motherboard put in. But I was having these problems before then, like I said. These problems started last year with the video editing, like I said. So I've had these problems for over a year now, almost. So, you know, it's not the motherboard. It's not that the PC's dead. It's just a thing with the HD60 Pro. And like I said, Vash12349 reporting the same issues when he got his Pro from Elgato. So, it's the card. That's the only thing I can think of. It's unfortunately the card. And it's a shame because I love this damn thing. I love it. You know, I love it. it's nice and compact. It's less wires streaming across the floor, but if the audio's bugged, I want to release the best quality video possible, and I can't do it with that. So unfortunately, it's just gonna be how it is. Now, I may get an S eventually, because I feel I might need one, but I think I might keep my HD60 back just in case I feel the need to stream and record something. Say if I want to stream the final episode of Life is Strange and I want to also record it for my YouTube channel, the HD60 does that. The HD60S doesn't have the encoder in it to do that, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. That's really weird how the S doesn't have the encoder to do master copy with it, but the HD60 does. And even the game capture, the original game capture model can do it. Apparently the original game capture model can stream and record at the same time with master copy, so what the hell? Why can't the S do it? Alright guys, so I'm out of here and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Peace out guys, I'll definitely be back in 3 weeks or so. See you later, signing off, stay awesome, peace out.